Hey guys, what's going on? This is Aaron, and welcome to my channel, Aaron NYC Artist. I hope your summers has been going well. You've been staying safe with this second variant, this Delta variant going around. I will say that if you still haven't, get vaccinated unless you can't because of a medical situation or whatnot. I wouldn't want you to injure yourself, or I wouldn't want there to be any problems. But be safe out there. Um, you know, and other than that, happy Friday, folks. Yesterday was my last day teaching for summer school. I have to say it was very interesting. I also have to say that paycheck was also very interesting. I was not expecting that once I got it. But when it happened, it was pretty good. Um, right now, I'm working on the still working on the Old Warrior series, but now I'm doing the male version. So what I decided to do was try something different. Now, what do you mean by trying something different? Well, what I started on was first taking photos of my, first I got a stand. I mean a really nice $20 stand from Staples. It fit my digital camera that I had. And screw on the top, open it up. I placed my markers on my backyard, on the patio part. And I just, my wife sat there and took pictures. We set everything up. I think when I do this again the next time, though, I am going to maybe get a mannequin so that I can show where I'm aiming at. So this way, if I'm standing in the middle and I want to make sure I'm hitting my mark, I might put a pole there. So at least this way, if I have the pole there, I can always edit it out, no problems. But this is a first. I mean, well, not the first, but this is the first where I'm basically using different shots of myself and photo editing and put them in the scene just to see how the scene will look, because I sort of had it in my head in a sketch, but I was like, well, let me see what I can really do, and then I worked from there. Now, as you can see, it starts. Um, I am basically, just looking at different things. I started adding rocks. Pretty much, if you ever look at outside Japanese walls, the old walls, they sometimes has like stone with the cement thing on top of it. So I was trying to go for that feel for it. That's what I was looking at. So I started drawing that in there. Sketch, did a little sketch in blue just to get an idea of where everything's going to be at. And just started working from there. I've also, this is something also I started doing. I wanted with the old warrior, the female version. I drew the pose first and then did the background second. This time around, I want to see what happens if I do the background first, then the foreground with the sword. I'm gonna put it in there and then put in my poses just to see how it would look. Um, it's so far so good right now, because also with the scene I wanted to be at night and there's lightning and thundering and it's raining, and I try to see, can I do this like a steampunk thing, but I'm not too familiar on how to do that type of art. So I decided, you know what, let me start looking at samples and sketching before I even attempt that, and just work with what I know, which is basically my own style. So that's what I started doing with this here. Um, you know, and as you go, as with all things, you start sketching, you start laying down the ideas and stuff like that to see how it would work. Also, right now, because I never really, I think maybe I did maybe I did it in high school, but I'm not too sure. But I'm trying to see how when you're drawing thunderclouds and everything else, and I was looking at pictures, and I forgot about this, that sometimes with thunderstorms, with lightning storms actually, sometimes it's different colors you'll see in the effect. I don't know why is that. It's like when I look at the different pictures, some of it has like a violet purple color, some is blue, some is like gray, which I found very interesting. Maybe it has something to do with the atmosphere. Maybe, who knows why it happens. But I just found it very interesting. So, there's some other stuff I'm trying also where I want to see how well I can do this starting from a grayscale and then putting it in color that way. I'm not too sure how it'll work out. I get the feeling though that if I do it in grayscale in Clip Studio and it's not working out the way I want it, I may have to transfer it over to Photoshop and see how their coloring system from grayscale to color works out, because I know with Photoshop I can punch in my values of the color that I want, but with Clip Studio I haven't been able really to do it that much. So right now it's a little trial and error to see how everything works out. But like always, I'll figure it out. But enough of that. How's everyone's summer going? That's why I want to hear. If you're new to the channel, leave a comment at the bottom. How's your summer going? Have you been able to travel? I know today I went with my family. We went to the beach. And for those of you who live in New York, who live in the five boroughs, well, actually, more like in Brooklyn or Queens, more like in Queens, because I know some, depending on where you're at, it's you either in the Bronx. I know you have that beach in the Bronx. Staten Island, you have your own beaches there, or you go to the shore. Manhattan, I don't know what you guys do in Manhattan for the beach, but I know in Queens with me, I always go to Robert Moses because it's not packed. But it has been a while, and we come to realize that you can't sit. There's a place where we used to sit, and we can enjoy ourselves. But I guess now the waves are coming in closer now to where we used to sit, so we can't sit there anymore. And it's funny because I wouldn't expect that from that field, and we were actually in field 2. So everyone who ever been to Robert Moses and knows field 2, and when you that knows what I'm talking about, that area I'm talking about. It's not like field 4. And then I was like, oh, everything got wet. So luckily, nothing was damaged or anything. But, we know now that we can't stay there in that spot, a noble spot anymore. But I do have to say, a couple of my friends, when we go to Robert Moses, we always see these elderly group, and they're military veterans. I believe I saw a couple of them there, so I'm glad that they're safe. We never really interacted much, but every time we go there, there's those guys. And stuff like that. So I'm glad that they're safe. But I'm thinking I recognized 2 of them. So I could be wrong. But usually I see them more on the weekend. So maybe one weekend when I go, hopefully we'll see them again. So my experience as a teacher for this summer, it was interesting. I'm not going to go into details, but I did have some challenges. I had to overcome those challenges to make sure that I was able to do what I needed to do. Right now with the program that they're doing in New York City with the Summer Rising program, it was pretty, I guess seeing as this is the first year, there was a couple of bumps in the road. I mean, we also work with the Harlem Magic people where they put on a play, which was also very good. All the teachers and were involved in the production and everything else. So that was also awesome. But yeah, I know there was another week, but DOE only had me scheduled to Thursday, and then I decided to since they only had me scheduled to August 12th, like in July, I decided to start making plans. And of course, when you start making plans, people sometimes, a wrench gets thrown, but they asked me if I can stay. I said, I would like to, but I already had made plans, and plus I was also burnt out at that point from, teaching all year and then going into here and then just being tired and whatnot, that I just needed a month vacation. So went to the beach today. In a couple of weeks I'll be going to Atlantic City, and then after that it'll be another trip, and then hopefully, September 13th when school starts, I'll find out what's going to happen. But other than that, I'm just going to relax, create artwork, create content, work on my coloring book, which I have to get back on, but now that I'm out, I can use that use that time to start working on that and hopefully have that done within a month or two because I know I am very behind and I had set a schedule, but just like everything, life gets in the way. you know, but it is what it is, so I'm not too worried about it. But I was also collecting references. I do have to take this computer in because I do have to put in another hard drive in order for me to use a program that is going to help me so that I can set it up and then work from there. But other than that, it's pretty good. Life is great. I managed to finish, like 2 weeks ago, managed to finish Cyberpunk. I actually am going back because I want to see what the other ending is all about. I get the feeling there's like different endings in this game, so I want to work with each one to see how it goes. Just to see the different endings, because you never know. Another thing. I think when it comes to teaching full time, maybe, I'll give it a shot. I mean, right now I've been applying to jobs here and there, but I haven't heard back. And knowing me, once I start working at somewhere, that's when everyone wants to start calling me and say, hey, we got your resume. Are you willing to? And I'm like, no, I'm kind of working right now. I sent you guys my resume 3 months ago, and you never answered me back, and now all of a sudden you want to call me for an interview. Does that kind of make any sense? No, but hey, that's how the world runs sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just, I figured I'd give it a shot. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? So right now I'm filling out this application for this fellowship program, so hopefully I get into that. Some of the questions, I decided to take a break from it because there's I think 5 questions they wanted me to answer, and I just want to sit down and really think about answering those questions, but at the same time, really, you don't want to just, okay, I'm just going to answer it and just answer it. I want to sit down and really think about it, and write it out, and, so that, yeah, I understand that you guys are looking, that you have a certain type of person that you're looking for, and you want to make sure this person fits the criteria. So I want to make sure when I write my answer down, it's something that I'm thinking about really hard, and I want to, put my best foot forward when I do it. Now, how will it end up going? I don't know. I'll have to tell you guys in the future how it goes. But right now, I'm trying not to stress myself out. I'm trying to just go with the flow. I'm on vacation mode. I'm going to be drawing a lot, cleaning up my office, also cleaning up a lot of other stuff that needs to be done. The wife already gave me a honey to-do list that we got to do, so I'll be tackling that. Also, another thing, does anybody know anything about well, man, I lost my train of thought. There was something I wanted to ask. Well, never mind. Once it comes to me, it comes to me. But here's a funny thing. For those other artists out there, you probably didn't know this. For those of you who don't, there's a website where you can find poses that I just ordered from. And, the lady, let me say the lady's name first. Right? Rachel Bradley. I bought some of her poses. I bought 2. One was gesture and one was sword. So I figured I'd start using some of those poses in there. I know I came up with an idea for another one after I finished this current thing where I'm going to be doing something that it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable for me because I don't want to be known as that guy who draws stuff like that, even though I'm seeing a lot of other guys do it and they're becoming very successful. And I'm like, I don't want to follow that same. It's like I'm the type of person where I don't want to follow the same format all the time. I want to follow my own format. But my wife was telling me, look, these guys are kind of doing it this way and they're getting a lot of likes. And I was like, Yeah, but I don't want to be like, oh, you're copying these people, so that's why you're doing it like that. And I'm like, huh. But maybe I will have to start doing that just to maybe gather some followers and maybe sell some more work. I know there's certain types of work out there that's been gathering traction, which I'm like, oh wow. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's really not me per se, but maybe, I'll try it out for a little bit and see what happens. If people are saying, oh, this is great, then I'll stick with it. I would rather do like martial arts stuff, design, like illustration stuff like that, where just, stuff with that's, okay, this is a martial arts thing, but, you know, it's a scene. But maybe branching out into that field, maybe it might be interesting. It might make me a better artist. I know I was reading this book called one second. It was this is my bag. Stonehouse Anatomy, and it's a big book. I mean, it's a big book. It's thick. It's over 650 pages worth of information, basically on anatomy, right? And I was going through it, and there's some things that I picked up that I was like, oh, and I tried it out when I was sketching, and I was like, oh, I never thought about doing it that way. Okay, so right now when comes to the female body, it was just a way of doing it that I just never thought about doing. But I know I've always picked up tricks from other artists, so I started using some of those tricks with what he did, and it works. And I'm gonna just try to start using that more. I haven't when it comes to female body, but I know with the male body, I'm really okay with it. And he shows like details with the abs and muscles and everything else. So I was like, all right, I see what this guy's coming from. And then I also bought the book from there's an artist called Loshi, and I bought her sketchbook of the art in progress. So I just flipped through that. I received it today. I mean, Amazon was selling it, and people who know, well, one lady who knows me knows I have beef with Amazon because they lost two of because their drivers kept two of my packages, or they dropped it off at the wrong place. So, um, so I tried it out because I had to get my daughter something from there because I couldn't find it in Barnes and Nobles. So I'm surprised that it showed up. Of course, Amazon, you have to tell your drivers to ring the doorbell for at the person's house so they know that, oh, they dropped off the package. Because quite frankly, they really don't do that. FedEx does it, UPS does it, the postal service does it, but for some apparent reason, Amazon drivers, they don't ring the bell. I don't know why, and I don't get a notification either, which is kind of like driving me nuts sometimes and pissing me off. But anyways, that's enough of my rant. Yeah, if anyone's asking, wait, Aaron has a sword? Yes, I have two. I have two swords, a staff, and two separate Eskrima sticks that I keep in the house, just for uninvited guests, only for uninvited guests. So, if you try to come into my house, more than likely you're gonna get something pointy in your thigh. But other than that, it's good. So don't worry. Just don't come to my house. Another thing, thinking about getting a pool for next year, but that's a work in progress. So hopefully next year, if I don't feel like driving the girls or my wife doesn't feel like driving the girls to the beach, hey, we got the pool, barbecue, relax, call it a day. Uh, what other things are on the horizon? Oh yeah, so other things that are on the horizon besides this drawing. I'm working on another. I'm working to sketch on another drawing that I'm gonna do, and I actually, for those of you who don't remember or do know, you know, people who know me know I did. I was a textile designer, so I did design patterns and color separated designs and everything else. Actually, I had a design in my head. It's still in my head, so I'm still working it out in there. That I'm gonna try going come up with a design. Right lately, I just haven't been motivated to do it because with everything going on. But I had a design in my head that I'm gonna work on probably during my vacation. But I know maybe I'll get to it next week. Maybe I'll get to it in 2 weeks. I don't know, because I know within the next 2 weeks it's going to be busy. I mean, busy. So I have to see how it's going to work. Other than that, boys and girls, that's basically it. I mean, I have nothing else to say. I mean, like I said, vacation mode. I'm trying to figure out how to get the storm clouds to look first, because I want to do that first because I know that's the hardest part, and I just want to see how I can get, even though I know it's going to be in a distance, the lightning. I just want to show that it's lightning, it's raining. So I know the rain will come down last. Once I have the bodies and I'll put in the rain, but I want to do the background first, just so that I'm comfortable with those colors, especially if I'm going to do it in grayscale and then put the colors in after. Other than that, I'm good. I mean, I'm good. I've had my bumps in the road, a lot of bumps in the road. But I'm pretty sure I'm experiencing the same thing as everyone else who is during this whole mess, and we're just trying to survive. I've been told that I'm a survivor, and I believe that. And right now, I just have to keep pushing, keep trucking. Just say, I know I see the goal in front of me. It'll be there. Not sure when I'm gonna hit that goal, but I know I'm gonna cross that finish line, and I'll be smiling when I cross it. But other than that, who knows? I mean, what can you do? What can you do? Not much. I mean, you have the skills. When you have the skills, the object is trying to use those skills to make yourself money. That's the hard part. When you know you have skills and you know you can do a job, the hard part is getting the job and completing the job. But you also have to realize not to lose focus when doing so. So to everyone who knows, to everyone out there, don't lose focus. All right? Keep strong. Keep your eyes on the goal. If you have a support system, lean on the support system. Don't be afraid to say, I'm done, and just take a walk. Go to the beach. Sit down with your friends and family. Go for a drive. Contemplate. Ride a bike. Do something to make you want to, so that you can distress, so that you can realize that, you have to tell yourself, I need a hard reset, and I need to figure out what I'm doing, and then take it from there, which happened to me recently. So I realized that I need a hard reset, and I just needed to know what to do next. So that's my TED Talk. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button. If you want to hear more, click the subscribe button. Leave a comment about how you are doing this summer. I know in like a month we'll be sending our kids back to school, so tell me how you prepare for that. Tell you how you feel about that. I know, I'm still, I know my oldest is vaccinated, but yet I'm still worried. But yet my youngest isn't vaccinated. She's not of age yet, but we're being careful. We are being diligent. masking and everything else, and we are also listening at their schools to see how they are doing things, and we're just taking it one step at a time. Um, Also, just there's an elephant in the room. Well, it's been on Facebook a lot. Masters of the Universe. Yes, guys, I understand. Some of us saw the eight or grew like the '80s version. I had a little issue with this one. I like how it started off. In the in between, I wasn't too much. I was like, okay, all right, all right, all right, all right. You know, it, like I said, it's the first season. I did not like how it ended. Well, okay, people already saw it. Skeletor, quite frankly, should not have been able to call on the power of Grayskull with the power sword. No ifs, ands, or buts. Kevin Smith, that's my only issue with that. Skeletor should not have been able to use, say, by the power of Grayskull and get the power of Grayskull. No. I don't know what that was about, but that was wrong. Also, what else? There was something else. There was another thing I saw that I was like, oh, that's interesting. Um, that oh, the Transformers Kingdom. I think it's been out long enough so that everyone saw it. That was interesting. I like the ending, so I'm curious to see how they're going to do this because they pretty much changed history, you know? So now, with the way it ended, of course, Unicron took Galvatron and Nemesis Prime inside and started reformatting them. So the question is, what do they become? And now Unicron's saying, I can always start over. So, what's going to happen next? Seeing as one, history has changed, is changing now. Two, are they going to move on to something else? Because everyone remembers when the Autobots and Decepticons crash landed on Earth, they went in stasis lock. Now they're not. They never went into stasis lock. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I got time is almost up, but those are my two things that I have to say. Transformers Kingdom, it was awesome. He-Man Masters of the Universe Revelation needs work, so let's see how part two comes out. I understand Kevin Smith going back to the original instead of doing a hard reboot. It's just a continuation. I like the fact that Adam's mother always knew he was He-Man. And they're like, wait, what? But then I realized, like, yeah, all mothers tend to know what their kids are up to. But the fact that she knew was, like, it was, like, surprising. Also, I'm looking forward to seeing Bad Batch Season 2. So I'm interested to see how that goes. After watching since it came out today, I'm not going to go too much into it. But it'll be interesting to see the dynamic between Crosshairs and Omega. What happens now? And some of the revelations that came out during the first two parts. Part 2 was a little bit more of a revelation, but it'll be interesting to see what happens next and what is the objective when it comes to Omega and what do they have in store for the Candemonians for what they did and why they did it, which I find very interesting. That's about it. I mean, I went to the movies with the girls. We all went to see Jungle Cruise. That was awesome. I'm waiting to see what other movies are coming out and see what's next. But once again, that's here nor there, and we'll see what happens. But once again, folks, I'll say it again. If you made it this far, click that like button. If you enjoyed the episode, leave a comment. If you want to hear more, click the subscribe button and the notification, and just stay tuned for more content and more information. Also, in the link of this, there will be a link where you can also buy merch. Like I sell prints. Maybe you want to hang something on your wall. I also sell a couple of other stuff. You can also follow me on social media from the link to this. And guys, I'll see you. Guys and girls, I'll see you next time. All right? Have a happy weekend and be safe. Peace.